start off, you'll need
So if
2
you guys
cups
like
of
our
all-purpose
shows and you
flour,
want to see more videos like these,
Make sure
and then
you
the
subscribe
spices
to our
that make
channel
it so
by
delicious,
clicking
2
here.
teaspoons
Or
of
click
ground
here to
ginger.
check out more great recipes on
So
MarthaStewart.com.
fragrant. The smell in here is like the holidays. Teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm using coarse salt, so I'm gonna use a half a teaspoon because it's about half as salty as regular table salt. So give it a good whisk. Make sure that everything is fully combined. I have a tendency to under whisk, I think, so I'm trying to make a practice of whisking just a little bit more so things are fully combined. If you don't whisk properly or sift properly and your baking soda or baking powder is not fully combined into your cake, it can cause air holes in your cake, which are unsightly. I mean, they don't really change the flavor, but you want a really nice, even crumb. Okay. Over here, I have 1 stick of butter and 1/3 cup of dark brown sugar. And to that, I'm adding 1/3 cup of molasses. Molasses is classic. Look, it's gonna barely come out. Molasses is your classic flavoring for gingerbread. In addition to all of those spices, the molasses is adding a lot of what you come to expect from a gingerbread. I did not spray this with vegetable spray, so it's coming out very slowly and sticking. Let me try another way. I'm gonna have to scrape it. If you spray your measuring cup with a vegetable oil cooking spray, like Pam, then things like honey and in particular molasses that's so sticky will just plop right out into your bowl. Then you wanna cream your butter, sugar, and molasses. Oh, another instance of do as I say, not as I do. I was supposed to beat the sugar and the butter first, then add the molasses. That's what you should do, and that's what it says to do in the recipe. I was getting ahead of myself. That happens sometimes. It happens to you too. Don't act like it doesn't. Then add 1 large egg. Beat that till it's combined. Have you ever made a gingerbread house? I made a gingerbread house, I think it was last year, maybe it was the year before, for the first time ever, and I was so proud of myself. You'd think that I would make them every year, right? It's really fun though. Very time consuming, but worth it. Add your dry ingredients and beat to combine. Wrap it up in plastic to get it into the refrigerator. You can separate this into multiple discs, like 2 discs to make it easier to roll out. Pat it into a disc, or that's good enough. Wrap it up and get it into the refrigerator to chill before rolling it out. Okay, after you've chilled your dough, you're gonna wanna roll it out, and I recommend rolling it on a piece of floured parchment or even between 2 sheets of parchment, turning every once in a while so that it doesn't stick, because as I mentioned, this is kind of a sticky dough. Today I'm gonna use star cutters. I like to flour them lightly and then cut them as close together as possible so you don't have a lot of waste. Give it a little shake, lift it, and put it onto parchment-lined baking sheet. You want the oven preheated to 350 to bake these guys. Then you can decorate them. Take a little bit of egg. This is not what called for in the recipe, but I like to adhere my sprinkles with just a little bit of egg white. It's really just to help your decorations stick when you're doing them ahead of time. And then I'm just gonna use a very simple decorating of nonpareils. Lightly sprinkle, looks like a little bit of snow, but you could be more elaborate. I've seen like really beautiful silver and gold decorations. You can apply those afterwards, whatever you want. That's it. I'm keeping it simple today with nonpareils. Get these in the oven and bake them until they're set and just slightly darker around the edges. That'll take 10 to 18 minutes, depending on the size of the cookie. So cute, right? They're really, really pretty. They're very elegant, I think, and I actually love the simplicity of this decoration because, you know, you don't want to tire yourself out at the holidays. So why don't you go out, get the ingredients for this recipe, and give it a try. And if you happen to make a gingerbread house, let me know.